What's up, y'all? This is Sean. I am back again, and in the last video we worked on the Wasp armor and her arms, but in this video we're going to be working on the jetpack and the wing. I think that's the jetpack, I'm not sure, but don't quote me on that. Now I'm going to try to keep this wing process as simple as possible. I'm going to start off with 4 hangers. 2 of them are slightly bigger than the other, but you can make them match. It doesn't matter to me. And you're going to need some thigh-high holes and some duct tape and some cutters and some pliers and channel lock. I'm going to start with a set of hangers that match each other, and I'm going to grab it right there in the middle of the bottom part, and I'm going to stretch it out as far as I can. I'm going to have this diamond shaped looking thingy, and you're probably thinking, well, wings don't look like diamonds. Well, this is what the pliers are for, or channel lock, whatever. Now I'm going to just put it right there where it bends, and I'm going to crimp down on it, and it will round it off nice and easily, just like that. And I'm going to do this to all 4 corners of these wings. Well, not all 4 corners, just the top and the bottom. You can actually play around with the shapes. It doesn't necessarily have to be like this oval looking thingy, but you know, like I said before, I just want to keep it simple. Now that I have 2 wings that match each other, I'm going to use these as the bottom wing, and then I'm going to kind of straighten out the hook part of the hanger. And I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go with this yet. I need to make the top 2 wings. And notice I didn't really round off the bottom of the top 2 wings. I just did the top corners, and I left the bottom ones a little angly, just to kind of play with the shapes and, you know, whatever. And now that I got all 4 wings shaped to my liking, I'm going to take some duct tape and connect them to each other. Now notice that the hanger part, loop hanger, I don't know what you call that part, but I have it bent in a way where they're not actually poking out. And notice I made the top 2 wings stick out just a little bit further from each other. This will make it look like the top 2 wings are actually bigger when they're actually not, because they're basically all the same size clothes hanger, just slightly bigger. But I wanted to give it the illusion that it is actually bigger, so yeah, I kind of have it hanging out a little bit further, as you can see right there. Now I'm going to take some extra galvanized rod, and I'm going to bend it to shape, and I'm going to support the top and the bottom part. That way your wings don't, you know, flap everywhere when you're trying to walk around in the wind, because that would be kind of embarrassing when your wings are flapping and you're not even flying. Or I guess that's how it's supposed to work, right? You can actually make these out of galvanized steel rods. I would recommend using 14 gauge or 12. 12 would probably be a little too heavy and harder to work with, but it'd be more stronger. But at the same time, you want to keep things con friendly. Have you ever went to a convention and somebody has these really big wings that don't retract, and they just have a really hard time just trying to fight through the crowd? Well, yeah, I don't want to be that guy. But then again, I'm not wearing this, so I can't be that guy. So I got all my thigh-high hose all stretched out and sized up to the length of the wing. I'm going to start off by sticking my hand into the hose and grabbing the very tip. Now the inside of the hose are sewn in, tip of it, so you might want to flip it out before you do this, because then you have the sewing part outside, which you see right there. And I didn't figure this out until afterwards, but you know what, I'm just gonna roll with it because it's just cosplay, bro. And notice that I have a whole lot of slack at the end of that wing. Well, that's alright, because I'm going to use that extra material and wrap around that duct tape that I put there earlier, and this will make things a little bit softer and easier to strap onto the armor, which you'll see here later on in the video. I'm going to repeat this process over on all the wings, and I'm just going to pull it over just like that. Now as I'm doing this wing here, I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should have went with something a little bit lighter, but notice you can still see through the dark hoses. But yeah, I mean, this still kind of works, but I wonder if it would have looked better if I had used like maybe white pantyhose, or maybe even some tan ones. I don't know. If you guys try it out, let me know how it looks like. And now that I have all my dark thigh-high hoses strapped over my clothes hanger, it's time to clean up the centerpiece. I'm going to take this electric tape, which is easier to use than duct tape because you can actually stretch it and it would look a lot nicer. And it's also black too, so it helps hide it, you know. It doesn't look like you're using duct tape to hold your wing together. It'll look more like you're using electric tape, which I don't know if it's any better, but yeah. And I'm going to take this access material and I'm going to wrap it around just one at a time, just making it look nice and neat. I mean, you can actually take your pair of scissors and trim it all off if you don't feel like doing all this. I mean, that's what I could have done. Would have been a lot easier, but yeah. As soon as I get it all wrapped up in there, I'm going to take that electric tape and I'm going to wrap all of it down and trying to get it as smooth looking as possible. But you know, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to make a jetpack that's going to cover all this. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter what it looks like underneath it. But you know, we know what it looks like. So, well, alrighty tidy, let's just move along to this jetpack. I think it's a jetpack, I'm not sure. I mean, we could call it a backpack, but I mean, why not, right? And I'll use some EVA floor mats for this build. And I've already cut out all my shapes. Now I'm going to go through and make some V-groove undercuts. And then I'm going to go and apply some contact cement to there. So that way, you know, it'll give me this beveled looking shape, I guess. So I'm going to start off by doing one straight cut. And then right next to it, I'm going to do an angle cut. Then I'm going to fold the foam over. So that way I can pull out the material that I don't want. And then once all that is pulled out, I'm going to go in there and apply some contact cement and let that one dry to a tack before I go and press it together. Should give me a pretty cool effect. And here is the top part of the jetpack, which I've already cut on my V-groove undercuts. I'm going to take some sandpaper and I'm going to roughen up the texture side just a little bit so that way the smoothness comes out of it, so that way the contact cement can absorb into the foam. Notice I cut the top part of that pie in a inward angle cut. That way when I glue it together, it will kind of take a shape a little bit better, just like that. And that part right there looks like it needs a little bit more glue, but I will put some glue on it later. Now that all my glue is set, it's time to put everything together. I'm going to take the top part of the jetpack and then I'm going to glue it to the bottom part of the jetpack just like that. And you should have something that looks like this. Now I should have went in and rounded off the edges just a little bit better before I glued everything down, and I couldn't seem to find my Dremel tool to sand everything, so I just left it as it is. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to cut out some slots right here. This is going to be where the bottom wings are going to go through, which you'll see here in a little bit. I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to plunge it into the corners and then I guess cut it out just like that. And once you're done, you should have something that looks like this. And we're going to put some Velcro underneath. This will hold it all together. I'm going to start off by putting a small piece of Velcro right there, using hot glue and a clamp to hold it down till it cools down and harden up. And then I'm going to put some more Velcro onto the top of the backpack, which is going to strap onto Velcro, which I'm going to glue onto the back of the armor. And then this set of Velcro will actually attach to the bottom Velcro. Now when I did this, I used some I guess double-sided Velcro that I purchased from Harbor Freight. Now the hook on this Velcro is really strong and it actually hooks onto anything and everything. It doesn't work so well when you're trying to use it near some poses that can possibly run and stuff. But that Velcro works really well for this part of the job. I went and cut some lines into the back of the center piece of the armor. Then I slipped the Velcro through, like inside and then back out. It should look something like this. And then I'm going to take my wing and I'm going to strap it on there as tightly as possible. And this will hold it in place just fine. Now I'm going to take some hot glue and some of that Velcro and glue it to the top of the armor. This is going to attach to the top part of the jetpack right here. And I'm going to carefully put the jetpack around the two bottom wings. Try not to get the hook Velcro hooked onto the hoses. And then I'm going to strap it to the top just like that, and it should hold itself in place. and it's starting to look really legit. I don't know, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. And so far, this is what the Wasp cosplay is looking like. I'm going to make some undergarment, and I'm not going to do any boots because my wife is going to wear her own boots, and it's going to look really nice with the rest of this armor. So yeah, if you're into this stuff, I mean, if you're really into this kind of stuff, then links to the templates will be in the description down below. And hit that like button if you feel like you got something out of this video, and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed, because we're awesome over here. And yeah, follow me on all my social network and stuff. And I guess that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.